Hello, everyone.
And welcome back to another YouTube video where we will be discussing a topic, and this topic is, let's see what it says.
Drum roll.
Should partners share their password?
So, Shanita, would you like to start?
Well, basically, no. That's how I'm going to start. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody does their own thing in their relationships. But honestly, I feel like when you have to share your password, I feel like that's already a trust issue. Because why would you need to share your password? Some people may even say, like, why do you even need passwords on your phone in a relationship? Like, if you trust each other, um, all of this stuff. Remember the days of Nokia? You didn't even have no password. I don't believe Nokia had a password, did they? I don't even remember.
I think it's just on
You
lock.
you remember Nokia?
Yeah. Wait, you think that you was 100 years old and it's 99?
That don't even make no sense.
You fuse 100 and it's 80?
I don't remember.
Nokia used to lock back in the day, but you didn't have like passcodes. You just hit the top button and the start button and it unlock.
Right. But anyhow, I just feel like in today's world, this whole thing about, oh, I got their password to their phone. I have their location, wherever they go, I must know it. You have a password to Facebook, to Instagram, to this, the next, the third. And all it is doing, in my opinion, is just showcasing the mistrust. And the thing about it for me is I feel like even when people do have all of these things, they still have an issue with trust. They'll have the password to the phone, they'll have the password to the social media accounts or whatever, they'll have the locations, they'll have all this stuff, and yet they're still checking to see if the person is cheating or if the person is being unfaithful or whatever, which is the same thing, right? If this is my opinion, if I have a man and I feel like he is unfaithful to me, then the relationship should pretty much be done. Because I shouldn't have to go out and, or if I choose to, forgive him when I find out, then that would be a choice I would make. But the problem comes where people forgive or say they forgive, but then you gotta be checking up on this, checking up on that, turning up in places, doing this, doing that. It's just a lot of unnecessary stress, bringing up your cortisol levels. It don't make no sense to me. I just feel like it should be a matter of trust, and that means that you shouldn't really be so like anal about getting the person's information. And everybody today have a lock on their phones, including me. So, like, for me personally, if my boyfriend said he wanted to see my password, I'll be like, here you go. Like, hold my phone, sure, whatever. I don't feel like there's anything for me to hide that I need to be like, oh no, you can't have my. I mean, all of these things just cause a lot of issues, in my opinion. So, Tony, what is your opinion on the topic?
Okay, so for me personally, I don't mind
what you say to you, mom?
Breaking transmission. I don't mind sharing passwords with my partner. However, I have a huge issue with this location business. Like my sister would have said, um, if you don't trust your partner, then why are you with them? Why should I have to share my location with you? You must know my every move. You're tracking me. Like if you're an investigator, no, I ain't got the time for it, and I will not be tolerating it. So that's a public service announcement for all guys who are watching this video. You will not get my location. I don't need to have yours because I don't have time with that.
Correct.
Right?
That's a good point that Tony just made. Sorry to cut you off there, but that was a really good point that Tony literally just made. and I have no choice but to comment on that. When you are so busy in life, you
Yeah.
literally don't or shouldn't have the time to be checking out on people. Like, where you have all these different things you have going on in your life, you're busy with work, you're busy with school, busy with hobbies, you know, all these different things. What time do you have to check up on a person? Furthermore, when you have a relationship, you're busy, you kind of have to do time management whereby you have to literally make time for your partner because you're so busy with so much other things you have going on, work, school, this, that, and that, and you literally, it's still very important to make time for your relationship, but sometimes it almost feels like you have to, like, have an appointment because you're so busy. So what time do you have to literally be checking up on this person, checking up? When you have to take the time out to do all of that, I think the relationship just should end because at this level there's no trust. Sorry, my sister, but continue.
Thank you. Even a time back, I was looking at something on Facebook, and this girl says, "Oh, I can see that my boyfriend is in the backyard." You ain't got a life? No, I am not doing it. I am not condoning it. I will not be looking at your location. This is the thing. Trust is one of the foundation levels of it being in a relationship. I must be able to trust you. When you tell me I'm going to point A, then I trust that you're going to point A. If you go to point A, B, C, and D, that on you. When I get home, make sure everything done, or when my partner looking for me to come with something or whatever, I'm making sure I got it. Cause I telling you right away, yeah, you're gonna got stops along the way. I see. I don't know if you guys remembered. Why did they get married with the character Angela? She had meters down pack on how far her husband would have gone, and she knew how much kilometers for the ex. No, we don't do that over here. Don't have the time, right? And then too, like, for me personally, when you love your partner, I mean your partner loves you, you just even pick up the phone and just do so, and just maybe they might look at something on the phone or whatever. I always hear on divorce court, when you're looking for something, you're going to find it, right? But if you trust your partner, I think the basis of this conversation is all about trust. But when you trust your partner, then you're gonna find nothing. You might find something, yes, don't get me wrong. There are some times when you might have like a woman instinct or whatever, and you will know how to deal with that. Some people can deal with a person right away like that when something just happens, and then other couples may just talk about it. So, I mean, for me personally, I don't see a problem with passwords per se. I don't have an issue with knowing my partner's password or he knowing mine. Cause I got nothing to hide, right? But you see, this location is a no for me.
Yeah, and Tony just made a point too where she said, like, if you go one place and then you end up for other places and stuff. What I also have to say about that is, okay, if you're going to a certain place and then let's say you made a stop because maybe you had to put in gas or you had to stop at the supermarket or maybe you went to a friend's house to do something or whatever and then you just went to the location you originally said, that's fine. But I also believe too that it's a two-way street, and some of the times some people have trust issues is because people tend to do whatever they want and they tend to take advantage of the situation. Like, if the way I feel about it is, if you tell your partner you're going to go to point A, point B, then that's where you should be going. I'm not saying, like, let's say you're going to point A and you take a stop half point, you take a stop half point or whatever, that you gotta pick up the phone and be like, hey, I know I said in here, but I had to stop at a gas station or whatever. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying if you say you're going to point A, then you should be going to point A. You shouldn't end up at point B, C, D, E. Because then again, that messes up the level of trust. So you might say, all right, going to this club, but then you end up at another club or another club, and Let's say something happened to you now, and your partner's it, but let's say somebody call and say, wait, this person get in an accident at this club, or this person get in a fight at this club, or whatever. And your partner saying to themselves, well, it definitely can't be him or her because them tell me them at Club Sugar, for example, right? Like, so there's no way. But yeah, somehow you end up from Club Sugar to Club
Extreme.
Extreme.
That was a club back in where this back in the
So,
day.
so at the end of the day, this is the problem. And again, this is the type of things that does cause a lot of trust issues. But again, personally, for me, how I feel about it is if you get to that level where you feel that you can't trust, without trust, there's nothing, you're going to make yourself sick trying to figure out what is going on. You're going to be stressing. You're going to have mental breakdowns, anxiety, all types of things trying to figure out what this person is doing and who they're with. It literally does not make sense to me.
I want to say something here too. There's something called trust, and then there's something called making sure that your loved one is okay. Because you just made a point there stating that if your partner said they're at A, and as you said, the accident happened at club B or C, then you tell yourself, all right, well, my partner's certainly in there, right? So, again, even like asking, where are you going? It is not a case whereby you are not trusting your partner. It's more so of caring for your partner, or being able to, like, knowing where they are, so that if in the event that something happens, me and my sister, I mean, this isn't relationship wise as in boyfriend girlfriend, but wherever I go, it's not a case like, oh man, is a big woman, I ain't gotta tell you where he is. I just let my sister know where I am, and vice versa. She would tell me with tones, I going X and Y, and I gonna come back now. If she make a stop, that's okay. But just let me know it's more so of a caring situation. Because other people may get that a bit confused too.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, too, like if something happens, that you know where this person is supposed to be. And our parents live in Barbados, so we tell our parents, even at this age that we're at, we tell our parents where we're going as well. People may be like, oh, when is adults? No, we let our people know where we're at, because if something happens, then they will have an idea of what is going on. And that, as Tony said, that is super important. That does not mean that you're being childish. It does not mean that you're being immature. It does not mean that some people need to be all up in your business. It's just a safety situation, safety issue. And it's important to be honest about the situation, because you never know what could happen. But in terms of the whole sharing your passcode and as we said, locations and different things, for me it's a no, because I don't feel like that's necessary. Because but again, when I say it's not necessary, don't get me wrong. If your partner wants to know your passcode, I also don't think it's a problem that you should share your passcode. Like if they want to know your passcode, like it might not even be a case where they want to know your passcode for knowing it. They might want to get access to your phone, maybe to make a call or to play a game or to do something. And if you don't have nothing to hide, it should just be like a here, hold it, whatever. You don't have to care. It's not that big of a deal.
I wanna add. So, I wanna add to. I had a point just now, and I'm having a senior moment. But sometimes too, I forget what I wanted to say. I forgot.
Well, you're still trying to figure it out, and also, yeah, there's no many people have something to hide too, because if then God got the bathroom, the guy carry the phone. If the guy got the kitchen, the guy carry the phone. If the phone barely beep or turn on and your partner look down, them God like snatch it up. Again, it's just these obvious type of situations. But you should be able to go from here and left your phone on the bed or wherever you next to your partner on the couch, whatever, without even having to worry about if anything is going on, or if your partner is going to take up your phone. When you start to worry, it means you have something to hide.
Alright, so I remember what I wanted to say now. Let's talk about back in the old time days when there was no technology. And to me, back then, you had major issues compared to now, because now you're in a tech savvy world. You could, track or, look at people's phone or whatever. Back in the day, the old women used to be fighting with other old women though, or I don't know, the women just used to know when the man by the outside woman. And I know again, because women instinct, men instinct, whatever kind of instinct. But what is it again? I'm more so on the old time side rather than the technological side, because the Holy Spirit can lead me.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? The Holy Spirit can say, look, sand and feel right. You understand? But when you're depending on these gadgets and all of this thing about, oh, like, you gotta track location and no, yeah, the Holy Spirit.
But regardless, the Holy Spirit tells you something is up in the first place, which is why you might say you want to check the phone anyway.
But that's true too.
Because the whole point of checking the phone is because you get something in your stomach or feeling, intuition, something, Holy Spirit, whatever people decide to call it, that is making you feel like something is going on. And that's what has meant you check the phone or do all this. And I'm saying, if you get to that point where you got to be checking people's phone and going around and, driving at people's house and knocking people's doors and doing all of that to find a man or a woman, it's a wrap. I mean, it's also dangerous because I've seen situations on Facebook, not like literally see it with my own eyes, but I've heard of situations where people turn up at people's house, knocking at people's doors. There was even one situation where somebody got killed going into somebody's house looking for a man. Like, it's not that deep. You're putting your own life in danger over what? You turning up at people's house that you're not supposed to be there. If you get to the point where you gotta be going at a stranger house to find a man or a woman, like, think about your own life at this point, because at this point you could be putting your own life in danger. It's not that serious enough to do it. And when I say it's not serious, I know people just be in love and feel like this is their lifeline and all types of things. But think about it. If they could go out and do this to you, then they're not thinking about you as their lifeline. You're not their lifeline. Matter of fact, you're not even a priority, because your safety is not a priority. Because if that was the case, they would tell themselves, well, if I end up here and my woman or my man or whoever catch me here, the two people could end up in a fight. Somebody could get hurt or worse. So at the end of the day, always look at yourself as the important person and tell yourself, well, if I have to be in a position where I have to be doing all of this, then is the relationship really worth it? And that's my thoughts on that situation.
And I agree wholeheartedly. So let us know in the comments if you think that you should have your partner's passcode, or even tracking their location, or having their passwords to their social media accounts.
And why?
And why.
Okay.
So please continue to like, share, and subscribe. And we're very thankful for all those who have subscribed in the past, and we're very happy about it. So until next time, bye. Bye.